Good morning, students. Welcome back to our today's class of English. As I have already told you, we'll be touching a new topic today. This is related to your grammar, and I'm sure it must be new to many of you. Some of you must not have heard the name modal. So this is what we are discussing today. So you can see all these words. We use them so frequently in our speech, in our writing, but have you ever thought what these words must be, what these words belong to, which part of speech they belong to? You see, there are words like will, shall, may, should. So these are very commonly used words, but have you ever thought what kind of words they are? Because what we have been taught is that all words belong to 8 parts of the speech. You know about nouns, you know about verbs, you know about adjectives and so many other words, but have you ever thought which part of the speech these words belong to? Well, let me tell you today, these are called modal verbs. So what are modal verbs? See, one of the words in this topic you must be familiar with. And what is that word? That word is modal verb. That word is verbs. So you are quite familiar with this word. So that means these words have something to do with verbs. Yes, they are actually auxiliary verbs. And what is auxiliary verb? Auxiliary are simply helping verbs. We know about main verbs and we know about helping verbs, but we have not heard this word auxiliary till now. So now, since you are in a big class, you know they are actually called auxiliary words. So some are main auxiliary verbs and some of them are called modal verbs. So let's see what these modal verbs are. A modal verb is a type of auxiliary verb that is used to indicate modality. What is modality or modality? What is that? That is the mood or the way. Mood, way or attitude of the speaker. So that this modality tells us in which way the verb has been used. So what is a modal verb? A modal verb is a type of auxiliary. Auxiliary is a helping verb in simple language that is used to indicate modality. What is modality? The mood of the speaker, the tense of the speaker or the attitude of the speaker. That is, and in what situations they are used? They are used in likelihood, ability, permission or possibility. So when the speaker wants to convey these situations or messages, what messages? Likelihood. Likelihood means having chance of something. Possibility or probability. Then ability. Ability means whether we are able to do something or not. Permission, to grant or seek permission. And then possibility, of chance of something happening. So in the example you can see 2 of my friends can play guitar. So which modal verb has been used in this? It is the word can, because you saw here all these words. You saw all these words here. So they are, one of them is can. So in the example here you can see 2 of my friends can play guitar. So we have used can here. So what does this can convey? It tells us about ability, that 2 of my friends have the ability to play guitar. So this can is a modal verb here. Now you got to know what modal verbs are, which word, not what modal verbs are, but which words are modal verbs. So what it is their use. which is very important. We can remember those words, we can identify those words, but what is important here, it is the usage, it is their usage. What is important, where we should use can and where we can use could, the past of it, where we should use will and where we should use would. So it is the usage which is very important. Otherwise we can just remember them, the words which are modal verbs. Okay, so now next, it is like why, when and how to use them. So it is very important to see their usage. Now going on to the next, their structure. See, structure, how they can be used and where, in which situations they can be used and what do they convey. So that is very important. Now subject, they are always used with a subject. Remember this. Of course we have to use them in a sentence, so they are always used with a subject. And then one more thing, they are always used with the main verb, main infinitive or finite verb. What does that mean? Because those verbs, they do not change their person or tense, so they are always used with main verb. So in a way they are also helping verb, because they help the main verb to convey its meaning or structure, attitude, way of using it. So what you have to remember, since they are always used in a subject, in a sentence they always are used with the subject. Secondly, they're always used with the main verb, because they give meaning to the main verbs. They tell us the mood, way of using them. For example, these are some of modal verbs. How can we use them? Subject is this. Like I said, they are always used with the main verb. And how can they be used? I must go to sleep. We can drink some water. You should eat some food. He may eat some food, or he may go to sleep, or he may do some exercise. See, we can use them in so many ways. She will eat some food. She should drink some water. It may eat some food. Here we can say it about some bird or animal. So just try to notice what these words, modal verbs, are conveying to us. I must go to sleep. That means it is this must word is conveying the message of compulsion. Okay, like I'm forced to do something. I have been awake for many hours or many days. Maybe I have not slept during the night, so I must go to sleep in order to get my energy back. So this is some kind of compulsion on me. We must drink some water. Maybe we are feeling dehydrated, so what we need is that we need some water. We must drink some water. They should eat some food. Maybe they are hungry for many hours, so they should eat some food. So see, like I said in the earlier one of the slides, what did I say? When, why and how to use them, and they convey likelihood, ability, permission, possibility, or compulsion is one of the situations they convey. So this is it. They convey likelihood, possibility, probability, compulsion, permission, so many other things. So what we know, that they are always used with the basic or infinitive or the main verbs. Infinitive means verbs which do not change with persons or with tenses. See, they remain the same. These are just basic forms with what we have used these verbs. Now modals, once again, just remember, modals or modal auxiliaries are used with other verbs to express special meanings. Now these are some of the examples and the situations we can use them. Modal verbs. Can is used to show ability, doubt, astonishment, permission, or even a polite request. May can be used for, again, permission. See, I'll be telling you the difference where we can use can as a permission and may as a permission, seeking or giving permission. If not, prohibition. Supposition with doubt. When we say it may rain today, so that means we have got some doubt about it raining. Must. Must is obligation. Obligation is which is necessary for somebody to do. Firm necessity, logical conclusion, and probability. So these are the situations when we can use these modal verbs. Shall, we can use it with some intention or supposition when we suppose something. Will can be used with wish, desire, will, confidence in the future. It is the future use we do it. Now this ought to, this might be a new word for you. So when do we use it? When we talk about some moral duty, insistent advice, strict recommendation. Need, when we have need is of course one more word which can be used as a modal verb. Need, necessity or unnecessity. Be to also, like we can use for the form, we can use have to, has to, had to. Obligation arising out of arrangement or agreement. Have to, unwillingness. Unwillingness, forced circumstances. Would, again, wish, when we wish for something. I would like to, it can be used with I would like to. Polite request, would you please do this for me? A habit of the past. He, as a child, he would always be crying. That means it was his habit. Should, necessity. I should have a house. Advice, you should drink some water. Blame, recommendation, reproach. Reproach means when we reprimand something or scold somebody. Then regret. Used to, again, repeated action in the past. So these are the situations. See, this is the thing actually which you must remember. You must remember their use, where to use can and where to use could, where to use may and where to use might. It is just that. Otherwise we can always remember these words, these modal verbs, but it is their use which is very important. Again, this is the table where we can use this could and where we can use may. Just when we are done with the class, go through it all. Just try to read everything. This is the modal verb, and these are the situations where we can use it. See, could, possibility. Extreme rain could cause the river to flood and village. That means here we have got some possibility. It's not that necessary it would do it, but it might. Could is again used for permission. Could I use your notebook please? It is a polite request, and then again as request. Here in the above sentence we are using it as a permission, to seek permission, and in the next we are using it as a polite request. Then may, possibility. Possibility means maybe something has got the chance of happening. That may be a better solution for you, but again we don't know whether it is a good solution or not. Again, permission, may can be used as permission. See, could can also be used for permission, may can also be used for permission, but this is what is important, what you have to know, where to use could and where to use may. Might, slight possibility. Again, may has got also possibility, but might has also can be used when there is some possibility. But where to use may and where to use might, I'll be telling you about it later. So might, slight possibility, past form of may. Reported speech, when we use it in narration, direct and indirect form. Can can convey ability, permission or offers. Should can be used for advice or logical deduction. I have revised, so I should be ready for math exam. So this is what it is, the surety. Yes, and I can understand that since I have worked hard, I can use my mind to assess it that I have worked hard, so I can, my paper can go well. Will, future tense auxiliary, it is used with future tenses. And then invitations. Now see may. Now let us take some of the modal verbs separately so that you know where to use them. May is used here as possibility. She may be at home, but we are not again sure, so we are thinking maybe she's at home. We are taking it as a possibility. Possibility means having chances of being or happening. Permission. May I sit here? This is for asking permission. Now we can use it for giving permission also. Yes, you may go now. Request. May I have the bill, please? And we can use it as a blessing or a wish also. May you live long. May you both be very happy. See in what situations we can use may, in how many situations we can use may. Now again, next is will. Will can be used as a decision when we have to talk about some decision or when we have taken some decision. I can't see any taxis, so I will walk. So here I have made a decision that since I can't have any kind of transport, so I will better walk. Offer. I'll do that for you if you like. So here I am offering help to somebody. Promise. I'll come back on Monday. So this is a promise. Now shall. Use. Offer. Again, it can be used as an offer. Shall I help you with your luggage? So here it is used in a question. Okay, interrogative. Otherwise here also it is used as an offer, but here the person is telling the other person that I can do it for you, I will do it for you. But here we are using as it as a question, whether the other person likes it or not, or whether the other person gives the permission or not. Now suggestion. Shall we say 2:30 then? Again this is a suggestion. Permission. Shall I do that or will you? Now must. It can be used to talk about certainty. Certainty means when there is some surety of something happening. That is something you're almost sure is true. He must be waiting for me. That means I am very sure that the person must be waiting for me. Moreover, it can be used to talk about obligation, when it is obligatory for us, when it is mandatory for us to do something. Prohibition, when we don't want to give permission, when we want to prohibit somebody. And necessity, when it is our need or strong recommendation. Now modal verbs. One more is ought to. Like I said, it might be new for some of you. See, when it is used, saying what is correct or what is right or correct. She ought to finish by next week. That she should. See, it has got the same meaning as should or must. But then should is a weak suggestion. Ought to usually comes in the middle, and must is the strongest one. Okay, so this is how these can be used. We can use should, but then when we want to convey some weak suggestion or something like that, when the possibility or chance is weak, then ought to can be used in the middle, though it is stronger than should. And must is the strongest of all. If we say it, she should finish by next week, that means it is obligatory for her. Okay? And then ought to, that means we have strong possibility or probability that she ought to. And then for she must, it is the strongest. She must, that means she has to do it anyhow. Now ought to is used to advise or make recommendations. It can also express assumption, like assuming things. Expectation, expecting or strong probability when the context implies that something is deserved, like you can understand in the examples here. She ought to stop eating red meat. So it is just a recommendation. If we want to give a strong recommendation, then we can use must. And if we are giving it as a suggestion plus recommendation, then we can use should. Like I said, should, ought to and must, they have almost got the same meaning, but it is the use, it is their use. If we say she should stop, that means it is combined with suggestion and advice. Then she ought to, it is a slightly stronger recommendation than should. And if we use must, that means she has to do it anyhow. Sam ought to get a promotion. So this is an expectation, that he is expected to get promotion because he deserves it, but we don't know whether he gets it or not. Now these are the main modal verbs: can, could, may, might, must. Again, this is just the repetition, just so that you remember it. Again, what do they convey? They convey wish, they convey desire, they convey permission. This is why we use them. They convey advice, responsibility and ability. And what do we have to remember? That they are basically auxiliary verbs. What do you mean by auxiliary verbs? Auxiliary verbs are helping verbs. A modal always comes with a verb, and they always are used with the main verb without any change. Modals add meaning to the sentence. Of course, if they didn't add meaning to the sentence, we wouldn't use them. So they add meaning to the sentence, or they convey mood of the speaker or mode of the speaker. So this is just one of the examples. I can exercise daily. What does it convey? It conveys ability, whether I can or cannot. Second is I should exercise daily. This is a suggestion for me. I am giving myself suggestion because I need to do it. I have become very lazy because of this lockdown. So what I have decided, I should exercise daily. And this is the habit. When I was a child, I could exercise daily. That means it was my ability, but in the past, because could is the past form of can. So these three modals convey different things. I could exercise daily, but now because I have grown old, so I cannot. Now what does may convey? See, these are some frequently used. Again, I am just repeating them. May conveys permission, possibility and wish. From these sentences you can understand. May I have a look at your presentation? So this is seeking permission and maybe requesting also. You may leave the table once you have finished eating. So it is giving permission. John may get upset after knowing the news. It is the possibility. May God bless you. It is a blessing or a wish. Now might, see the meaning of might and may and their use. We usually think them as they are quite same, exactly same, but they are same, but we can call them similar, but they are not exactly same, because may conveys probability and might conveys possibility. That means when we have less chances of something happening, very less chances, then we can use might. And may, when we have very high chances of something happening, that means when we know something almost for sure that it might happen, so we can use may there. But when we are not very sure, then we can use might. And might can also be used as a past form of may. In the example, she might be on leave tomorrow, so that means we are not very sure. If we say she may be on leave tomorrow, that means we are quite sure, not exactly sure, but quite sure. But if we say she might be on leave, that means we are not very sure. The doctor might call me again. Unsurety of something, but we just say it. Now can, it conveys capacity or capability and permission. I can ride a horse. That means I'm capable of riding a horse. We cannot stay here anymore. Can you help me? See, can you help me? It is a request, or it can be a permission, but we can use could also. So I'll be telling you the difference. This is basically telling you the difference between where to use can and could, where to use may and might. Like I said, it is the usage which is very important. You cannot make a phone call right now. This is inability. Now can, again, can ride a horse, capacity and capability, and seeking permission or giving permission. Now let me tell you where to use could, because they have almost got the same meaning. So polite request. Can also be a request, but when we are informal, like we can talk with our siblings, hey, can I use your pet? So it is like an informal situation. But if we want to make a very polite request, and if we want to keep it formal, so there we have to use could. So in formal situations we can use could, but in informal situations we can use can. And again it tells us about ability, but in the past. And narration, when we use this direct and indirect speech. So can is changed into could. See example, could you help me learn my lesson? See, this is a very polite request. If I say can you help me, so that means I am using it in informal situation. But if I am saying could you help me, that means I am being very formal and I am being more polite. When I was a child, I could play all the day. It was my ability, but in the past. She said that she could paint, so it is used as a narration. The actual sentence would be like, she said I can paint. Okay, she said I can paint, indirect speech. And how can we change that? She said that she could paint, so it is the narration where it can be used. Now difference between should and must, where to use should and where to use must. Both are used as advice. Compulsion, when you are forced to do something, and when we have strong obligation. So one of them is weak and another is strong. When we have less this weaker obligation, then we can use should. But if we have a strong obligation of doing something which is quite necessary for us to do, so we can use the must. And when we have probability, you should work hard. See, this is a suggestion, this is an advice, and one must work hard in order to succeed in life. This is a compulsion. Otherwise a person cannot succeed, so he has to work hard. It is a compulsion on him. He must handle the situation carefully. There is some problem, so it is obligatory for him to handle the situation, otherwise things can go wrong. So possibility is she must be waiting for us. So this is a strong probability. And then would, where do we use would? Again it is used for a very polite request. See, could, can, may and would. They can be used in same situation, but somewhere it can be formal, somewhere it can be informal, somewhere it can be not very polite request, and somewhere it can be very polite request. So in those situations we can use may or would when we want to use very strong request. Past habit, when we are talking about past habit. Unreal situations which are not, we do not have very chances of happening, or which are just imaginary. And then again narration. Would you like to have a cup of tea? This is a request or offer. When I was a baby, I would cry a lot. This was my past habit. If I get money, I would travel the world. This is unreal situation because I don't have money now, so I am imagining things. He told me that he would go for the meeting, so it is a narration. If it was a actual sentence, it would be like, he told me I will go for the meeting. But then when you change it into indirect speech, it changes like this: he told me that he would go for the meeting. So children, this was all for today, and like I said, this was a little confusing because you must not, I'm sure you must not have heard modal, word. So these are basically verbs. And which verbs? Auxiliary verbs, helping verbs. So we can just remember them, and we must be knowing where to use these words. But then it is again, like I'm impressing it again, stressing on this, it is a very easy topic, but you must know where to use which word, which is very important in this topic. This is what this topic wants to convey to us. Like I said, where to use may or where to use might. So it is the correct way of using them. It is the correct usage, which is very important. So thank you, children. That was all for today.